Hello, this is TelecomTV. We are at the ETSI NFV event number 13 here in Croke Park in Dublin in Ireland. We're in the executive boardroom of the GAA, the Gaelic Athletics Association. I'm talking with Jim Smith, Head of Strategic Marketing at Cobham Wireless. Jim, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to talk to you. Given all the excitement that was buzzing around at the time that NFV was first mooted and introduced as a technology 3 or 4 years ago, then following from that the proofs of concept, the field trials and so on, there's been a lot of momentum behind it, a lot of buzz, a lot of talk and frankly quite a lot of hype. And some people, not all by any means, but some people within the community are now saying that actual commercial rollout of virtualized services is slower than was anticipated, or that they anticipated, and partial. Do you think, in your opinion, has it been taking longer than expected, and if so, why? For example, is it because service providers have been rather more cautious than the vendors thought they might be?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, if you just go back just a couple years ago, I think if we look back the last 2 years, there has been some meaningful proof of concepts and trials taking place. Now, NFV is a complex technology, and just like any complex technology, it takes time for widespread deployment. So I think it would be aggressive to say that we should be much further ahead than we are. NFV is a massive transformation. It's a network transformation that's taking place. Now, if you look at the telecom infrastructure, we are seeing signs of the NFV migration, but in a phased approach. And as we speak to operators and carriers, they all have aggressive plans to virtualize their network. Now, some have not, I would say, fully adopted the open environment, which may be some of the delay. But I think in 2016, I think this year we're going to see some really interesting things. We're going to see more deployments, but they're going to be deployments, greenfield application deployments like virtual evolve packet core, virtual CPE, and even around security, virtual DPI, for example.
Jim, if you think back a couple of years to when NFV documentation first started from ETSI, dotted throughout the documentation like plums in a pudding, there were lots of mentions of ecosystems throughout it. Very much a buzz phrase of the time. Since then, manufacturers have been collaborating and partnering on the open vendor ecosystems. Have those ecosystems mutated, evolved, changed? What do they look like now? How important are they? And what has the response been from the service providers?
Sure. So first off, I think ecosystems are important to both the service providers and, as you mentioned, the manufacturers. These manufacturers are now the virtual network function providers. And as NFV kind of takes root in the telecom network, what you're seeing from these ecosystems are new partnerships and alliances taking place. Why? NFV is forcing collaboration. It's interesting if you think about it, there's this multi-vendor network service chaining effect that NFV is driving. So these ecosystems are instrumental because they're collaborating with each other. And if you look within the ecosystems and what you're seeing the collaboration being underscored there, because they're talking and examining the current state of NFV. We're talking about the advancements and some of the challenges of NFV. But just like anything else, these ecosystems will change. Today, we are debating about the technology. We're talking about the technology. Sometimes it feels like we're trying to standardize it again. What you're going to see moving forward, I think, over the next couple of years is less talk and meaningful, integrated, combined solutions together to advance NFV and also to differentiate one from another.
NFV, Jim, has been presented to the world as an overarching global technology, one thing, network function virtualization, based upon cloud, based upon SDN for sure, running in parallel with it, but as an overarching technology. And then in recent weeks, not that long really, we started hearing about carrier grade NFV. My question to you is, how on earth can carrier grade differ from any other form of NFV, given that it is one thing?
Yeah, great question. So, if you think just carrier grade, what is that, right? It's a tried and true concept that has kept our network up and running for years, right? If you make calls, I make calls, we stream video, we send data, all types and kinds, we expect the network to be up and running, always connected, always on. That's reality for us. The carrier grade or the carrier network, as it relates to NFV, is undergoing some transformation as well. But if you think about it, it just means that it's not going to be constructed or built on that proprietary purpose-built equipment. But even with that said, as enterprises or consumers, we will still receive the same quality of service and the same quality of experience as we expect from the current carrier-grade network.
So finally then, Jim, for carriers to ensure a successful migration to NFV, how is the technology changing the landscape in terms of network validation and in the testing space?
Yeah, that's another interesting question. So if you think about network testing also has to deliver advantages of virtualization. Network function virtualization is a disruptive trend that's now challenging network validation, network test, and measurement solutions. So that's a large market, and this market needs to respond. And I think what you're seeing here is that the benefits of virtualization, again, is to reduce the dependency or eliminate the dependency on that proprietary purpose-built hardware and software. And there's nothing more proprietary than the test box, right? So leveraging off-the-shelf hardware will enable savings for our end users. But in addition, I think what's more important is being able to virtualize the test solution, being able to deploy the test solution as a virtual network function. So you and I as users can call upon that test resource, and we are able to allocate that test resource as well, anywhere, anytime. And if needed, we can even pull these virtual test resources to have a larger test. And that is delivering tremendous value and virtualizing the test solution. I think that's where Cobham Wireless comes in, and one of our differentiators is we have deployed the industry's first fully virtualized test solutions to help our customers migrate to NFV with confidence.
How's that going? Are they out there now?
It's out there now. So we have amazing deployments where customers are virtualizing their full test bed, and they're allocating, they're sharing, and they're also pooling these resources to do, for example, a terabit test bed, which is phenomenal and kind of first to the market type of thing.
What's the response been?
It's been fantastic. Again, part of NFV is about reducing CapEx and OpEx.
Sure.
And because we're increasing the utilization of test resources, that's lowering the CapEx and improving just overall test coverage too. So our response from our operators and carriers and even the equipment manufacturers that have these large test beds, this is what they've been looking for.
Good stuff. Jim Smith, good to meet you. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.